Alrighty, seventh or eighth time is a charm on making this video. Anyways, let's get right into it. These are going to be my picks for the BKFC event happening this weekend, Knuckle Mania 5. I've already written down all of my picks on what I got, so it'll be a little bit faster than some of my other pick videos. To be honest, I think I'm just going to do it in the beforehand where I just write them down and have them all ready to go as far as the picks go and what my decision is on how they are going to get the job done. So let's go ahead and get right into it. Now, just keep in mind, I got to be completely honest with you. Some of these fighters I have not really seen, and a lot of them don't have a history of fighting at all in the BKFC. So some of it I've based purely off of how they look and their swagger is, and if they look, ready to go, if they look like they're a good fighter and stuff. So just bear with me a little bit as far as the judgment picks go. And again, I'm not trying to, like trash the person or whatever. I'm just going based off of who looks, looks more like they're gonna win the fight. So yeah. Anyways, first pick we have Babaludze. I have him by round 1 or round 2 TKO or KO. He's from Georgia. Just had a Georgian win in the co-main event, so gotta go with the Georgian here. McDowell has 1 win, but what does that matter? He's from Georgia, brother. Caucasus Mountains. Hell yeah. Anyways, on to Tucker versus Russell. Tucker, if you can't get ready for a photo shoot and you're gonna have messy hair like this, I don't think he's gonna be ready for the fight. Russell, he paid for some good shots. He got pose right. Got the he's got the tattoos. He's got the beard. He's got the hair. Got the ginger. So that matters a lot. We gotta go with our ginger brethren here. We gotta go with Russell. I think Russell gets the job done. I have him by round 1 KO or TKO. And just for the forethought here, there are going to be a lot of round 1 KOs or TKO predictions. That's just how BKFC goes. Sometimes there's cuts, which are Dr. Stoppages. But other than that, it's TKOs or KOs. Typically, they happen in the first round. Now, it can happen in the first exchange or it can happen in the 5th or 6th exchange. But typically, a lot of fights in the first round of the BKFC. So, just preparing you for a lot of round 1 KOs or TKO picks. Not a lot of decisions happen in BKFC. So yeah. Anyways, on to Karakappa versus Norman. Gotta go with our boy Norman here. He's got the right look, Got a little bit of the messy hair. He's got a gun on his face. So he's about that life. He's got aggression in him. Karkappa, I think he's a little bit too much of a pretty boy. Look at this fade, and this. I bet he put a little bit of gel in his hair, maybe a little bit of pomade, spiked it up a little bit. Look at Norman. Norman doesn't care. Norman's coming in for danger, for aggression, looking to get the job done. That's why I have him by round 1 KO or TKO. Next, we're gonna go with Thompson here versus Panel, however you pronounce his name. Maybe if he had a different font with that Beast Within tattoo, maybe if he's a more edgy metal font, I can see him getting the job done. But unfortunately, Thompson, he's got the record. He's got the I'm about to sun you look. He's looking at you like you don't want to do this, son. And I think he's gonna end up sunning Panel here, and Beast Within is gonna have to be Beast Tamed Within. Yeah. But anyways, Thompson round 1 KO TKO. Next one we have Montanez versus Meyer. 2-2. You never want to be 50-50 in BKFC, and I'm gonna end up contradicting myself later in the picks. But for him specifically, 2-2 is not that great. I'm gonna have to go with the newcomer here, Montanez. He's got the lion, he's got the hyena, so he's got courage, he's prideful, but he's also got a mischievous, devious, laughing side to him. So for that reason, I'm gonna have to go with Montana's over Meyer. Plus Meyer, he looks like he's picked a fight with the wrong person because of, he's just been eyeballing the wrong person too much. So yeah, for that reason, we're going with Montana's round 1 KO or TKO. Next we have Peg versus Burns. We're gonna have to go with Peg here. 3-2, great record. Burns, just don't think he'll be able to take a punch really well. That tattoo of that woman too is just doesn't give me like good vibes as far as his ability to take punches. Peg looks like look at those ears. They're all beat up and cauliflowered, so I'm gonna have to go with Peg here. Plus he's forgiven. So yeah, since he's forgiven, I'm gonna have to go with him for that reason. Next we have Dachko. Dachko. Again, butchering names here. Versus Banks. And I'm gonna have to go with Banks here. Look at this boy. I mean, he is filling up that screen. Plus, it looks like you owe him some money. It looks like rent is due. Looks like you will rent. You're a little bit late on rent. And I have family to feed too. So how is this going to come out? You going to make money appear, or am I going to have to take it? And then he takes it from them. But I think for that reason, I have to go with Banks. Although I like the boxing tattoo with the chain around the neck and stuff. That's pretty cool looking. I got to go with Banks. You owe him money. For that reason, we're going round 1 KO or TKO. Next, on to Sullivan versus Tomlinson Jr. Now, Sullivan, he looks British. Like, he has that British, like, bruv kind of look. Like, you just woke him up and he's like, bruv, we gotta go fight down. We gotta go fight a couple of mates down at the pub. Take a pic of me real quick first before I go in, bruv. That's Sullivan right there for you. Also, there's a weird look on his lip. It's, like, smashed in on the right. I don't know if that's anything, like, I don't know, maybe, like, a cold sore or something. I don't know. Could be just a weird camera. For some reason, they put him in a weird, like, font. Or not a weird font, a weird filter. So he's, like, a little yellow or something. But, yeah. Going with Tomlinson Jr., round 1 KO or TKO. Plus, he's got the experience. Even though it's 1-1, 50-50 is, like, It's not as bad as 2-2, though. Even though it sounds like that doesn't really make any sense. It's not as bad as 2-2. 1-1 is better than 2-2. Unless he goes 1-2, then that's worse than 2-2. But anyways, Garbarino versus Spencer. We're going with Garbarino. His head looks like it can take some punishment. Looks like his shots are going to be bouncing off that head. He's going to be able to absorb a lot of damage, and he's probably going to be able to think his way out of a couple of bad situations. Plus, he just looks more in shape, little bit younger. Spencer looks like he's been trucking for a little bit around the U.S. and he's in shape and stuff. He's definitely like he looks like you don't want to tell him the wrong thing, but again, I gotta go with Garbarino. Plus, he's got the 1 loss, no win. Like that's not good. And he's this far up the card, which is also kind of like, Jesus, BKFC, we gotta scrape the bottom of the barrel this bad? Jesus. Anyways, not like I beat up this guy, but like, God, 0-1 up this high on the card is kind of weird. Whatever. Anyways, got Kalmas versus Brady. Gonna go with Kalmas here. If you ever watched a BKFC event, you know who Kalmas is because he rips off his shirt and goes, "Let's go, yeah!" He's in the little promo vids or whatever for their merch. So for that reason, I gotta go with Kalmas. Plus, he's got the BKFC chain on, and he's got the experience. I think this is a good setup fight. Plus, Brady, he looks like that one British guy who makes those videos of him crying and stuff. He's like, you took my wife and kids. I'm gonna kill you, or something like that. Even though he says he's from the U.S., just like I don't know what it is. I can detect Britishness. Um, anyways, on to Starling and Rawlings. Gotta go Starling here. 4-3 versus 3-3. Gotta go with that for that reason, and plus I think she had a better fight against Christian Ferreira, to my knowledge, from what I remember. But yeah, anyways, on to Mick Terrell versus Ben Rothwell. Mick Terrell gets it done. Round 1 KO, TKO. Also, I didn't say Starling versus Rawlings. Should have said Starling round 3 KO or decision. But anyways, back to Terrell. Mick Terrell versus Ben Rothwell. I think Mick Terrell gets it done in like the first 40-50 seconds of the fight, honestly. I don't think Ben Rothwell will be able to take the damage Mick Terrell is going to dish out. And yes, this guy is very British and very awesome. 9-1, great record. I don't know, I forgot who he lost to. I think he was like one of his first fights in the BKFC, but dude's been on an absolute tear. And his last fight was against Lorenzo Hunt, which is probably one of the toughest fights in the BKFC for any weight class. So, yeah, good on him. Next, we're going to be going to who? Who's this guy again? I think who's this guy versus Eddie Alvarez? I'm just kidding. Jeremy Stevens versus Eddie Alvarez. I'm going with Eddie Alvarez. He's been a champion before in UFC, Bellator. Jeremy Stevens, I don't think he's even has come close enough to even sniffing title contention. I think the highest fight he ever had was like a comeback fight for Jose Aldo and like Calvin Kattar, and that was in featherweight. And his record in MMA, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, is either 27-21 or it's like 26-21. It's something crazy like that. He's fought in the PFL. He's fought everywhere outside of the UFC as well too. He's 2-0 in the BKFC, and Eddie Alvarez is 1-1. But Eddie Alvarez fought Mike Perry. Mike Perry's just a different animal. If BKFC was smart, they would have Mike Perry come back and fight Lorenzo Hunt. But they are so scared of having non-UFC's BKFC somewhat stars fighting the other champions and stuff. Like, they don't want Mike Perry to fight one of the champions because like they want to have a champion roster. And Mike Perry's just, I don't know if like, it's kind of weird with Mike Perry, right? Because he's kind of like their feature fighter, and it'd be great if they, in one sense it'd be great if he was champion for them, but in another sense, like, he doesn't need to be champion because he already is going to be the main event no matter what. But anyways, going with Eddie Alvarez here. I'm going with around 2 TKO. And for that reason is because they're going to have a little bit more of a feeling out process, slightly more faint watch, kind of like, you know, see what it is at first. I remember him versus Chad Mendez was pretty explosive, but I think it was decently like okay in the first round. Eddie Alvarez has shown he can take a punch too, and he's very willing to do whatever it takes to win. So for that reason, I gotta go with Eddie Alvarez. I think he gets the job done, like I said, round 2 TKO or KO. But yeah, so those are my picks for BKFC. I'll be trying to cover the PFL event too as well, and I'm gonna also give out some MMA news coming out tomorrow as well. About the Pereira versus Magomed Ankalaev fight. That should be a pretty interesting matchup. I think Pereira ends up winning that. Ooh, very controversial. But we'll go over that in the next video. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate you for all the likes, all the subscribers. It really means a lot. I really appreciate all the commenting as well. It helps boost me. So if you can, do me a favor, hit the like, hit the subscribe, comment who you think's gonna win this fight. Anyways, you have a great day. I appreciate it. Bye.